for Cam?
Cam obviously coming off a loss. How important is it to take this time to regroup and get ready for a trip down to the Cayman Islands?
Yeah, I think it's a tough loss, but if you look at what positives we can take away, we came back and fought hard. I don't think anyone at halftime sat there and hung their head in the locker room, and that's important for a long season. And a team that's going to face, it's going to be 3 good games. We're going to play 3 good teams. Everyone in that tournament's good. So, I just think the fact that we know we're going to keep battling no matter what gives us confidence. We can't shoot much worse than we did. Just flat out. We shot better in the second half, so it's just something we got to carry with us.
How different are neutral site games versus playing at home or on the road?
Right. Personally, I've never played in a ballroom before, so that was interesting. But yeah, it's a different type of atmosphere for sure. But it's a lot of bring your own energy. We didn't particularly do a great job of that in the first half, but in the second half we really did. 1 through however many we took on the sidelines was into it. That's really what it takes to win those games.
Is that kind of, does that help you going into, neutral site tournament type atmosphere?
I think we know what to expect. It shouldn't really have to be said anyway, but I think we know what to expect.
If you Google things to do in the Cayman Islands, there's some November tournaments that are kind of cool, but you're going to a pretty unique place, and the business of pleasure will be a nice little 3 days for you guys, but you want to win all 3, obviously.
Yeah. I've never been outside the U.S., so it'd be pretty cool for me to go to the Cayman Islands. I hope the water's clear there. I think it's clear, yeah, so I'll get to see my foot in the ocean. I've never had that before either. So that'll be cool, but, we came down there, like you said, to win 3 games. So that's going to be my focus. Sit in the hotel room and watch film. I'm not putting my feet in the water, so, yeah.
What's it like when this team kind of gets rolling the way you guys did in the final? Because, you were down, I guess, 8 or 9. They could have just gone the other way, lost by 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
But when this team kind of gets rolling, you can feel how much the team builds on momentum, and you're almost in it again.
Yeah, I think one thing I also took away is that we got to take into account how tired teams get in the second half when they play us. Sometimes it'll be a point in the second half where it's just there it is, and you just look at them and they don't even want the ball. They don't want to go get the ball when we're full court pressing, and that really came for them like 6 minutes left in that second half. And if we did a better job pressuring throughout the whole game, disrupting their half court offense, it would have came sooner, and I think we would have blew the game out last 10 minutes if we did that. So when we get rolling too, we're out in transition. Our energy is great. We feed off each other great. It's just all about getting there sooner. I think if I pressed more often, I think we would have got there sooner. I think we would have blew the game out in the last 10 minutes really. But that's just on me. That's just something I gotta look for opportunities to do next game.
You said you're looking for opportunities. This team is so unselfish. Is it still trying to figure out, like, hey, we need one guy to kind of just go on a run or take over, be that guy, like, hey, I'm putting you on my back? Because, there were times last year where Andy wanted to be that guy, or Tavion. Are you guys still trying to find that guy?
In certain situations, I think it comes with a matchup. I think we did a decent job of, like, Nate got in the post a little bit, and he scored on his matchup. I think we did a decent job of that sometimes. I think it's just finding sometimes the right set to get into when we come down, when it's not transition. The point guard or whoever has the ball has to come down and look at the floor, what worked the last couple of possessions, and let's go to it right here and see if we can get an easy one. Sometimes we settle for a tougher shot, and we don't get a great look in that possession that we need to get an easy look at. So that's one thing I also saw on film, to answer your question.
When your shot's on, you got a smooth shot, and it looks like you've gotten in some shade, you lost some weight. Do you find yourself wanting to try to be that guy? It can be your team if you want it.
Right. I think down the stretch, we were all shooting so bad. I think I walked in at halftime, and I said, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down swinging. I'm not going to go down feeling sorry for myself. and then that's kind of how it played out. I said, I'm gonna be aggressive. I mean, I'm gonna make something happen. Something's gonna happen for us, and sometimes it might not be my game to do that. Sometimes, depending on how they play me, it might not be my game to do that. It really just depends on the situation. I think we got a lot of capable players, and we got to go with what's working in the game.
Good guys?
All right, appreciate it.
A couple days after Radford, when you watch the film, is it kind of like, is that a game where the guys see the film and see where they didn't start the way you wanted them to, and they kind of get it?
Well, I told you before the season started, it's a growing team, not a finished team. We grew a little bit, I hope. I think the biggest thing is we came for the event, and they came to win. And that's a mindset, and coaches maybe got to do a little bit better job of getting them in the right mindset. But at the same time, I'm a great believer, and I was raised that, you know what, this is your game. You take control of it. And growing up, my dad never let me have somebody determine what I was going to do. He's always put it on me. You be the person that determines what's going on. So I kind of treat the team that way. I think we grew. We showed it on film. They know that they didn't come out with the same intensity that the other team did. They out-rebounded us. They got the loose balls. And usually when you take a little bit off of the accelerator, you don't shoot well, which is exactly what happened. Second half, Cam stepped up, started hitting these threes. But like I said, we're still a growing team. Nate Martin played a hell of a game. Defensively, outside of maybe threes, maybe 2 ticks up, I think they shot 35 points something. If it was 33 point something, that'd be great. Overall, field goal percentage 37. That's great. We haven't seen that since I've been here. Our last 2 games have been in the 30s. And we're playing good defense, and we'll just keep getting better. We showed the film. We got to get more out of Jacob Connor. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I'm making him come to the ball more so that he'll be more aggressive. Running the sidelines and standing over there, that's not going to get it. We can't win the championship that way. He's got to be aggressive to the ball and let him get Kevon and Cam open so we can get more of easier point production out of them. And he's got to help create that offense and set it. He's capable. I know he's 6'10", and people think I'm going out of my mind, but he knows how to run a ball club. We've got to be there for him to give him that confidence. It may take 2 or 3 games, 4 games down the road, but he's got to handle the ball more in our offense and get us into sets and the things that we do and get us a rhythm of play. And I think he's capable, and if we get him there, then I think we got a championship ball club we're looking at.
I asked Coach Nichols after the game, do you get more out of a game like that, win or lose, than if you'd have played our Lady Sisters of the Poor and won by 60? Because maybe in January and February they're in that same kind of spot, and they know they can go back on their memory and saying, this is what we don't want to. We don't want to repeat what we did at Radford, or come out with that same juice, in the latter part of the year.
What did he say to you?
He said he enjoyed that was a great battle. I mean, this is why the mid-majors, quote unquote, do so well in January, February, and March, is they play each other and kind of beat each other up and learn some things.
Well, when the ACC was in, and the big complaint from the ACC was they beat each other up before they got in the NCAA, and that's why the other group won it. So there you go. Maybe that's changed, but I think it's a combination. It's never one thing. If you're fighting a war every time you go out, you're going to have a lot of scars. You got to have some games that you can get rhythm, and it's easy, and your guys getting confidence, and they see it going. You got to have some games you come in there and got to fight it out, But I think if too much of any one thing, it's probably not a good thing. Probably in life, same way. Moderation's a key. So we think we have a good schedule. Last year, our schedule, the conference, we had conference meeting. They said ours was the ideal schedule for a mid-major like us. He came out and said everybody should look at Marshall, how they schedule, and that's the way you should schedule. So We had 24 wins. It was, I think the strength of schedule was 148 somewhere. It's in the top half of the, they're 340 some teams. So you down in under 150, you're in the top half by a good stretch. So it was a good schedule. So my reply to you is that I think it takes a mixture. It's like practice. You can't come every day and expect a war out there on them. In fact, my brother gave me a great quote, great tip one time. He said, the worst thing that happened to me is that second string guy is almost as good as I am, because I have to fight him so damn hard every day to hold my position. Then I go to the weekend, I'm fighting another guy, wear you out. After a while, it won't, you can't do it. So, you got to look at where you are, what this team's mentality is. We've got to get Obin up from 5 to 8 rebounds, 12. I thought he played a good game. He played well, but he's got to be a more dominant person inside. Nate Martin was as good as gold. That's as good as we can expect. I think he had, 17 points and 11 rebounds, something like that. If he keeps doing that, we can get consistent there. Kevon obviously didn't shoot the ball very well. His percentages have got to be better. Jacob Connor has shot 5 shots in 2 games. That can't happen. We got to find a way to get him more aggressive. I think by putting him on the ball and demanding that he goes and gets it. He's tall. He can see over everything. And we getting Cam and Kevon and the other Cam coming off picks and looking for the ball. He can see down into Nate. We can ISO Nate a little bit, get him freed up and driving to the basket. He makes good decisions off the bounce. Then I think that's the rhythm that our team needs to be. It's going to take us a little bit of time to get there. It took us time for me to see it clearly, as we played. But I think that's what's going to make us a possible championship team, and we have to get that way. And everybody from the 16th man on the squad to the 4th assistant to myself have got to be at a high level and see if we can't make everybody happy at the end of the year. Although 14 teams and happy at the end of the year is a difficult task.
You mentioned early in this press conference that you came for the event, they came to win. Cam mentioned that he's never been out of the U.S., so how do you make sure that they're not wide-eyed coming up?
I've never made sure of anything. Excuse me. I had popcorn. It's difficult to, the mental part of the game is probably the most difficult. And you do your best you can. But that's why I always feel like you got to make your players take charge of the team. If they do, once they do that, and they police themselves, and they know they're living every day. They go back to the rooms together. They go eat together. I'm not there as much. And my job is to get them to take ownership. If I can get them to take ownership, and however long that takes, once you become accountable for yourself, each person, and then as a team leader, as they evolve with this team, then we got a chance. You got a chance to be in a really, really good ball club. We had the talent. I thought just talent-wise, the 2 teams were better. We got a chance that if we're playing at our very best, we're going to win that ball game. And they shot the ball pretty well. We didn't. And we were tied with, 10 seconds to go, which that was a tough shot he made. It was interesting. I called timeout right there at the end. I'll give you a little story. I looked down the court, and the little kid was taking the ball out, and he's been the most aggressive scoring on the whole game. And the way we were lined up, he was going to throw it to the big guy, him run off, and then he's going to shoot a little shot. And where Nate was guarding the big guy, he couldn't get out to him. So I called timeout real fast. Well, give the coach credit. He switched. The little guard, if you watch on film, he goes over and talks to the coach. He said, "Coach, you're taking that away." So they came up with another play. And the play worked real good. He came down, and we didn't shift right or switch right. Kevon came up, and he got on top of his pick instead of staying on the bottom. Jacob takes him as he comes through, and then Nate takes him when he comes out. That's the way it should have been. And again, this is a brand new defense. We haven't done that here since I've been here because we haven't had the type of team that could. This one can. Nate stayed. If you notice, Nate was on that little point guard a lot, and he stayed down in front of him, Kid didn't really do any damage to him as a matchup. We didn't get posted inside with our guards guarding their bigs inside. And that's why they shot 37%. So we're going to get better. These are all little glitches that we got to correct. We got to make sure our switches are all the time. So there were about 3 or 4 shots that they got that is just mental lapses, and we can't have those. And I think as we go through this, talking, the communications, whether it's loud enough and it's funny. Everybody says you got to talk loud, you got to communicate, get your voice out there. You also got to hear. The other guy's got to hear it. And sometimes you concentrate on the guy saying it, and you forget about the guy supposed to listen. So we're trying to teach both, listen and talk. And if we can get that down pat, we got a pretty good aggressive team. I like our looks. We got a good chance against anybody. This team took, I think I watched the game with them with North Carolina. It was like a 6-point game with about 7 minutes to go. So it wasn't the 18 or 16, whatever they beat them. It was a hard-fought game. So I think we'll be fine.
Cam talked about the importance of bringing your own energy in neutral site games. How important is that going to be going down to the Cayman Islands and into that neutral environment?
Well, it's always a challenge. Every game, basketball is played, and that's why you have so many more upsets in basketball than you would in football. You got a week to prepare. Basketball comes at you real fast. It's more of an up and down sliding scale. I would imagine, and I'm saying this without any knowledge, there are probably 20 times as many undefeated football teams are basketball teams, if you look at it. And it's because you're changing up all the time, and mentally, it's hard to go out there every game at your very best. We try to get as close as we can. That's what we're trying to do. And to go down to the Caymans, they're young guys. They want to go to the beach and see their foot in the ocean, and they want to enjoy the sights. And that's fine as long as their purpose of going down is to win. I think we went to the Greenbrier, which is a beautiful resort, and they did a heck of a job putting this game on. And everything was good about it, and I wish them the best when they do their NTE there. But I think we went, and Cam had never – we had one player had been to the Greenbrier ever. So when they got there and, you go into – you're not at the Red Roof anymore, and you're at the Greenbrier, and, you forget to shut your mouth, and they've thrown the ball up, So maybe that's on me. Maybe it's not. It's we're all in it together. So it's all of us trying to get to the very best we can, and we're certainly aware of it going down to the Caymans, and we'll do the best we can. But again, it's a nice beach, nice weather, warm water. Play a ball game. We got to make sure we're playing a ball game and then think about that other stuff. So we'll see. Again, we're playing Utah State. I watched them play just recently. Another hard, tough crowd. They're a little bit bigger bodied than Radford, but same type of intensity and same type of really just in your face, slower, 60 almost Old Dominion type of style of play. And so we got our work cut out for us. You asked if you think you got better by playing a tough team, win or lose, and I go, I don't know anything good about losing. I didn't learn anything about when you lose, you lose. That's not good. And when you win, you think about all the good things you did. When you lose, you just stay mad and you don't think about nothing. So I don't think losing has any, to me, it doesn't bring anything to me. I want to win. Now, I can play bad and win. I'll learn. But when I play bad and lose, I just lose. And so I think our schedule's good. We got a good schedule. We can come right back and go to Kentucky. And, I don't know where this team will be when we get into December and get back to home and get on a regular basis. But I do know this. We will be better, and we will represent Marshall and be very competitive when we get to the Sun Belt.
Have you been to the Caymans before?
I haven't, and I heard they have my type of entertainment there. And no, I haven't. You know, I haven't gone to the. My wife doesn't like to get out of the house much, so. No, I haven't. I've been a lot of different places. I've not been to the Bahamas. Now my wife has. She got her sister married a guy from the St. John's. I've never been, you know, been all over the world. And I've never been to that part.
Is there anything you're looking forward to about it?
I look forward to every day. I look forward to you guys. You know, to me, this is fun. I am who I am. I don't throw you. If you want to, you know, at least if I say it, you know, that's what I feel. I'm not trying to fool anybody. And I've been in this business too long and love it, love this team. And, you know, it was the biggest things. I don't know if y'all saw the Rondell article in the program and on TV, on their TV. It was terrific. And that's the kind of people we want to produce, the type of graduate that we have coming out of here. We had both John and Tavion text to wish us the best of luck. They're in camps, and they don't have to do that, but they do. Stevie was at the ball game. You know, it's what can make Marshall great. You know, it's our inner self that we got to keep working on as a fan base. Love the fact that Grassy won the championship. Love the fact we won the football game, and I text Chad and just said happy. You know, so girls, I watched that game, and they were aggressive, and they forced the other team to play their style. Love that part. So, you know, we're going to try to do our part, see what we can do, and it's a great experience for me. So, will I enjoy the Caymans? I'm going to enjoy tomorrow first. That it? Thank you. Go Birds.